That's what's missing. You always know what's missing and then you bring it.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to All Souls Unitarian Universalist Church. I'm Kirsten Levitt, and I'm delighted to be your host today. We are grateful to have all of you here with us today, whether in person or online. No matter what you believe, who you love, your background and circumstances, you are welcome here. We have the joy of coming together, and we want to make sure that everyone feels welcome here. So I invite you to reach out across the aisles, turn in your seats, and say good morning to one another. Terrific. And Matt, who's on Zoom this morning that we can greet?
This morning we have Christy G, Gary Pausner, Trudy, and Elle.
Good morning to all of you on Zoom. We're so happy you're all with us, both here in person and in the digital universe. It's so great. Just a quick practical note, there should be some announcements in your order of worship. There will be more announcements after the service today about upcoming activities here at All Souls. If this is your first time here, welcome. We invite you to sign our guest book in the narthex near the front entrance so that we can keep you posted with our weekly newsletter. You can also find information about Unitarian Universalism and All Souls Church in the pamphlets in all of the pews. And please join us for social hour after the service. Will happen right here in the sanctuary. And now I invite you to breathe. Breathe deeply, come into the room, be present, be focused, be at peace. In the words of Reverend Kathleen McTeague, we come together this morning to remind one another to rest for a moment on the forming edge of our lives, to resist the headlong tumble into the next moment until we claim for ourselves awareness and gratitude, taking the time to look into one another's faces and see communion. This house of laughter and silence, memory and hope, is hallowed by our presence together. Let us take time for quiet reflection as we listen to this morning's prelude. Thank you. We're graced this morning by Laura Josephs, who's bringing us beautiful music, and today's speaker will be Christine Bates, and we welcome both of you. We're so glad you're here. As Maria rises to light the chalice, you will read the boldface portion. So this is a responsive reading for our chalice lighting today. We have come into this room of hope where our hearts and minds are open to the future. We have come into this room of justice where we set aside our fear to name freely every oppression. We have come into this room of love where we know that no lives are insignificant. We have come into this room of song where we unite our voices in the somber and beautiful melodies of life. And so let's do that right now, friends. Rise as you're willing and able and sing hymn number 21, For the Beauty of the Earth.
Source
Thank you. Now I invite you to read with me our congregational covenant. This is a living document that is reviewed each year and edited or modified as times call for, but it is the way that we aspire to be in community with one another. Ready? In this house, we covenant with one another to build our connections on a foundation of love, hope, and faith. To accept responsibility for our individual acts and work together to promote equality, justice, and peace. To stand on the side of love, embracing the liberation of the oppressed and championing all movements to end discrimination. To communicate with kindness and support, and to serve with compassion and commitment. To listen respectfully with an open mind and value our diversity as a source of our communal strength. To learn together and grow together, generously sharing our time, talents, and treasures. To celebrate the joys of discovery, embracing the fullest measure of our humanity, from the wonder of youth to the wisdom of age. To openly share our laughter and our tears, showing reverence for the divine in all that is. Each week in our church, we take up an offering which gives us an opportunity to exercise the generosity of spirit that supports All Souls and its many ministries. We see this act of giving, of growing more generous in our hearts and in our actions, as essential to our spiritual well-being. We will now receive this morning's offering. Individually and together, we're building a world filled with peace and justice, love and joy. Each one of you, by your commitment of time, talent, and treasure, helps to make that grand vision real. This is not the way today was supposed to be, but I'm glad it is, because we take what we have and we make the best of it. And that's what my friend Christine is doing today by giving a sermon. I just want to tell you a little bit about my deep love and abiding affection for my friend Christine. When I walked in the doors here in 1999 with a 12-year-old, Christine was one of the first people that became my friend. At that point, she had Bub in diapers and Kiwi on her hip. And we raised our kids for the last 25 plus years together. I'm lucky they call me auntie, and I'm lucky to have such a person as my friend. We have worked in schools together. We have done potlucks together, haunted houses that aren't haunted, and all the things you could think of in between that make up this loving, deep relationship that feels like it has no end. Christine's the kind of person who comes at an idea with a different level of deep, compassionate thought. And over the years, she's been able to teach me how to slow my roll and think more deeply or more completely, or to be even more curious. And so when she offers today's sermon about how love and hope need help, I am going to listen intently, because I know what she speaks will be true and will teach me something. It's my great honor to invite Christine K. Bates into the pulpit and share with us.
Goodness, that was kind. Welcome to All Souls. This place we sit, this beautiful place built upon rich soil, glacial till, riverine deposits, is the Pecumtuck and Abenaki homelands. Back in 1667, it was ceded under duress to a guy named Pinchon, a man known for his shady dealings, his cider press, his collection of debts to convert into his wealth. This sanctuary was built upon the beautiful earth here on the Pecumtuck and Abenaki homelands. The soil is rich and beautiful. Here, where hope and love find help. To be clear, this sermon is based on a change of plans. Our speakers decided to stay in Canada. And here's a note about that. Our program was postponed. In the end, our guests had the final say. Dan Nolet from Odanak in Canada felt the series of threats to disrupt their talk made the effort of traveling 600 miles round trip too exhausting. To be clear, the team concurred. The team made up of Historical Society members, myself, and 3 members of Odanak. We all kind of received some very charged language communications that made it incredibly uncomfortable. Our guests were to be Dan Nolet, Martin Gill, and Isaac Chappelle Gill. They were here to represent Odanak, Odanak is a First Nation reserve in Canada with proud Abenaki descendants of Pecumtuck, Waranoko, and Western Abenaki nations. I thought it was important to be clear about what yesterday's focus was, because what I'm going to be talking about is based on how I came to be in the group of people who invited folks from Odanak here. Who are you? How do you know? I grew up in what I was led to believe a rather typical middle-class family, middle-class American family. My mom at home, dad worked at an industrial roofing firm. I had a big brother. There was always a cat in our family. A succession of hamsters and gerbils, snakes, and even at one point a horse. We drove over the river and through the woods to eat turkey on Thanksgiving. Opened packages on Christmas. Dyed eggs and ate white borscht at Easter time. And we went down the shore to swim and bake in the hot New Jersey sun. Idyllic, yet I held and still hold a profound sense of not really knowing who I am. I'm adopted, and in New Jersey, adoptions were closed. And I have yet to meet any of my relations other than my wonderful family that I've brought into the world. My roles inform my identity. The face in the mirror informs who I understand me to be. Critical thinking informs who I am and how I move in the world. Those things are assisted with my chosen Unitarian Universalist faith. It guides me to find the way based on my conscience, critical thinking, love, justice, equity, and some other values that are near and dear to our religious tradition. Along the way, I had kids and was drawn to studies including evolutionary biology, sociology, and languages. In the early 2000s, my significant other was pursuing his master's in anthropology and a certificate in Native American studies that catalyzed us both into writing about the harm that comes from mascots depicting Native people for schools and teams. Schools and teams with no Native background. He went to Peru on an archaeological dig. Chance of a lifetime. He came home a little broken. What he thought he was doing became what we both feared it might be. Grave robbing for profit of an academic institution. This left me asking, what can I do here at home? I answered an invite to gather in Leverett to meet Native grandmothers. They were sweat lodges I was invited into. I mostly listened and felt like an intruder. I engaged in trainings around anti-racism and anti-bias, a lot sponsored by this congregation and mostly by this denomination. So when I sent my youngest 3 children to school to try to finish my own education, it turned out our local high school in our new town had one of those mascots. I promised myself I would do something. Questions were asked. People were nudged. There was a superintendent who I knew from the Northampton UU, came into our district, and the first question I asked him was, "So, when are you going to get rid of that mascot?" And bless his heart in the most northern way, he set about efforts to do that. In 2017, kids from the high school, wearing their mascot emblazoned sweatshirts, staged a walkout in protest because they really did want to keep their mask on. The idea of losing it was causing a lot of grief for a lot of people. It was real grief, and grief that deserved sympathy. Sometimes the Band-Aid needs to come off. Eventually, a brave school committee and that superintendent made the decision to choose a new one, a new mascot. And a task force was formed to do so, with lots of time and community input, anger, threats, and ugliness. A new mascot was chosen. During that time, I heard from folks saying things like, "My great-great-grandmother was Native. My grandpa called me his little Indian. I go to powwows." Followed by, "The mascot, it honors their legacy. How will we know they ever lived here? You are erasing history by removing this mascot." The grief was real. Yet their assessment of their mascot was hurtful. It was a drawing or woodcut of a craggy older man's face with a full plain-style headdress, not even associated with the native peoples who inhabited this land. In the process of public debate, I became acquainted with folk of First Nation status and learned of varying degrees of pageantry, cosplay, Halloween costumes, and organizations that promote that pretend. Like the Improved Order of Red Men. It's a national organization that didn't even allow Native people in, yet engaged in cosplay and what they believed were rituals. The Degree of Pocahontas, also another organization that was associated with the Red Men. And there's the Scalpers Club, not so far from here, where annually non-Native folks set up teepees and dress up and drink. It's a drinking or social club. As I did more reading, I learned about the history in the United States of adoring the idea of the savage, of the wild. And also understanding that there was a good degree of hating, killing, and exterminating the very people that were supposedly being honored by these mascots, by these organizations. There's much more on that note. But all this set me on a path to figure out who I could align myself with and what criteria I will use. Soul searching and talking to people. I made a choice to stand for and with folks with First Nation status. They understand their history. They understand their people. They understand their needs better than I ever could. I love this place. I can only imagine what it would be like to have my ancestors displaced from here, to be pushed away, and then again to be unwelcomed, to speak. But here, love is at the center of our values. It needs help. It needs help from critical thinking, from our critical thinking. It needs help so our actions are guided. Hope. A hope for a future for our planet. Needs strength from good people seeking better lives, seeking better ways. With conversations of land back and reparations, we're called to help. We're called to discern. We're called to chart a course for justice, to make amends, to spearhead a return of the Pecumtuck, the Abenaki. At least for them to return here to speak uninterrupted here in their homelands. Hope and love need help. I ask you, what will you do? Thank you.
Well, one thing we can do is lift our voices in song. Please join, rise as you're willing and able, and sing number 131, Love Will Guide Us. Now is the time in our service for sharing joys and sorrows. If you have a sorrow that needs the help of this community to carry it, or a joy so great that you must share it, now is the time to do that. You may share out loud. A microphone will be brought to you, or if you'd like to share silently or light a candle in the side window right over there, that would be fine as well. If you're sharing with the congregation, please note it's not a time for political or personal announcements. We will have that right after service. But we take care of each other by making our sharing brief. And a great joy today that we have each and every day is to have visitors. So we invite visitors to introduce yourselves during this time. Not mandatory whatsoever. We just want to give you a hearty welcome. Now is the time for welcoming visitors and sharing joys and sorrows. Here you go, hon.
Hi, I'm Sandra. I have both a joy and a sorrow. This last Saturday, no, that was yesterday, Friday, I attended the funeral of my former husband, who was the father of my 3 children. And there's just no greater joy in my life than my 3 sons going up to the pulpit and giving thanks for their dad and all that he meant to them in their life, that he was their pillar, their strength, their guide. And it just gave me such joy. They all cried while they talked, men in their 50s. It was just a beautiful, beautiful event. And I'm more in touch with the grief here being in my church than I was in the Episcopal church yesterday on Friday, but I just feel both the grief and the joy at the same time.
Hello. I wanted to just share a joy for my mother, Christine. Has been, I think this has been something that's felt like a piece of her soul that has been in conflict. And I just feel a lot of joy for her to really get the opportunity to bring those parts of her soul together, so.
Good morning, I'm Jane. I just had it's both a joy and a concern. I had a wonderful visit with 2 of my best friends from college. One lives in Maui, so I maybe see her once a year, and the other's in Vermont, so I get to see her more. But the visit ended yesterday when I took my ride or die down to New York to her niece's house. Her niece, who's in her 30s, and she has a beautiful family of a 11-year-old and a 6-year-old. And that family's going through some really hard times. She's going to be the mom who I've known since she was in utero. She's serving her husband with divorce papers. Their marriage isn't able to continue. And I just wanted to come here and light a candle of concern for that family and all that they're going to be going through at this time.
Do we have any on Zoom? And forever hold your peace.
I'm Diana, and this is the first time I've been in this church. I've been downstairs with the Stones too, but I needed to find something that spoke to me, and I am overjoyed that coming where I can see that people have their life behind. And so I often, I go to AA every Sunday morning, and I go to AA because of the want to live a sober, clean life. But after a while, there seems to be something else. Something was missing, and so I'm coming here. Maybe I'll go to AA one Sunday and come here the other Sunday, back and forth, and have, like a little kid, I'll have both. So, thank you. Bye now.
Welcome. Anyone on Zoom? Okay. I just want to shout out, I had some really touching conversations this week with dear friends. One, a person who could be my own son, who has struggled with addiction for the last 10 years that I've known him, who just had his year anniversary of sobriety. And the other, who I've known for 25 years, who we had lunch on Friday, and he lost his daughter to an overdose, the disease of addiction, almost 5 years ago, and he wants to make a difference in the world by finding a way for parents to process their grief through this kind of loss. And I just marvel at the capacity of human spirit. And I'm honored that people count me as a support and as their friend. Yep, of course.
My name is Kate Mason, and I want to thank Christine. She put a lot of work, thought, love, care into working on this weekend, and lots of forces swirled around, and she was gonna make it work. She did. She did a beautiful sermon. Thank you very much.
Oh, I forgot one more thing. This week, we stood in solidarity for the Trans Day of Resilience and Remembrance. And there were members of our congregation who came to that celebration on Thursday. And I just want to say thank you to all, and also to put this in your hearts and mind, that those who are around us struggle and need support, just like my friend said. Okay, let's take a minute of quiet reflection. Then if you will share energy, if you lift your hands as you're able, and you'll feel something in your palms, I promise you. Spirit of community in which we share and find strength and common purpose. We turn our minds and hearts towards one another, seeking to hold all of the love, care, hope, and vulnerability that's in the world. We can do it. We have it. We can do 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 it. Let us turn ourselves towards those who have grown from our bodies and who we are proud of as they grieve. Let us turn our hearts and minds towards those who have milestones, transitions, and challenges that need our support. Let us make sure that each day we send out the energy that we can to lift each other up, to support one another's needs. Let's hold in our hearts all those joys and sorrows, both spoken and unspoken, in a place of quiet. Let us have the silent healing of pain and the soft, aurorous coming of love. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen. And now, if you would sing, as we stay seated, Prayer to Friends, which you will find as an insert in the front of your hymnal.
From that New Jersey prophet, Bruce Springsteen. I want to find that river of life. I want to find that river of love. I want to find that river of faith, that river of hope. I want to go to that river of transformation where you can go and be changed, but you have to work at it. I want to go to that river of sanctification where all life's graces and blessings can fall down upon you like rain, but you got to work at it. I want to go to that river of resurrection where everybody gets a second chance. I want to find that river of joy and river of happiness. But you don't stumble upon these things or find them by accident. You have to seek them out and search after them. That's why we come out. We said night after night, but day after day, Sunday after Sunday. You can't get to those things by yourself. You have to have help. Go in peace. I love you.
Okay. Announcements. Yep, Sandra's up first.
I'm leading the service next Sunday, and every once in a while, we like to do what I call a community service, where instead of sitting in the pews, we gather in a circle up here. And I invite you to come prepared to share something. Our theme is going to be, where do you turn for wisdom? What are the sources that you go to, and maybe bring us an example so that we can hear from each other as ministers next Sunday.
So in honor of Christine and also the loss that we have, let's see, my name's Pam. And we have actually the Basic Call to Consciousness, which is a book that is written by the Akwesasne people, the Haudenosaunee. And when you are looking for where do you turn for wisdom, if you want to prepare for next Sunday's service, I couldn't recommend a better book out of this service, so that you gather an insight as to how the history of recent history, you know, of people who are seeking justice, but then also a history of Western Europeans and how we have suffered ourselves before coming to this environment, this sort of sacred environment of natural health and natural being. You know, where I come from, a tree-covered, blessed land. So I recommend it. I've got 3 copies. Let me know. You want one?
Awesome. Thank you. Any other announcements? Okay, Russ?
Hi, my name's Russ. I'm usually in the entryway greeting on Sunday mornings. Cassie, thank you for greeting with me today. I could use somebody else as a second greeter next Sunday. If anybody just can't help but raise their hand, please do. If not, I might come looking. Oh, Karen, thank you very much. And if you'd like to greet some other Sunday, just let me know and I'll talk to you about it. Thanks. Oh, one last thing. If you're here for the first time today, we have a guest book in the entryway. Even if you don't ever plan to come here again, we'd love to have your name in there. Just say, oh, look who was here today. And if you want to put contact information, do that too. But that's it. Thanks.
Great. Just want to let you know that on Thursday, we will be simulcasting here in the sanctuary the day of mourning from Plymouth. And following that, downstairs will be transformed into a dining room after we get all our delivery orders out, and we will be holding Thanksgiving meal from 1 to 4, open to the entire community. So Stone Soup will be doing that. So you're all welcome. You can tell your friends if you don't have family to go to, or you know people who need meals. That's the other thing. If there are people who are shut in, who can't get to a Thanksgiving meal that you know of, you can go to the website and order meals to be delivered to them, and they should get to those households around noontime. So I just wanted to let you all know about that. It's happening. I think our volunteer shifts are full because everybody wants to volunteer on Thanksgiving, but we're here 52 weeks of the year. So And I guess one other thing is we did a bake sale and I have leftover bakery. So if you're interested, I'm going downstairs to put turkeys into water to thaw overnight. Oh, about 40 of them. So if you want to look at some baked goods, I have them downstairs. There's pie and bars and different things. Okay. No cookies. Oh, and Matt has an announcement over there. Thank you, Matt.
We actually have a question from Christy who asks, what's the name of the book Pam mentioned?
Pam, can I see that book? This is called Basic Call to Consciousness, and there's a preamble by Chief Orrin Lyons, introduction by John Mohawk, and an afterword by Jose Barrieno, and it's edited by Aquasane Notes. That's what I think I said. Thank you. Native American History and Culture is what it's under. Thank you.
But it's written by the Native American people, not by Westerners.
Okay. Any other questions or announcements? No? Then somebody brought Adam's Donuts